Welcome to our June 27th, 2023 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting here at the City of Richmond City Commission Chambers. We appreciate the City of Richmond allowing us to use their space. This time I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Lockmiller.
Here.
Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Boykin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time I'd like to invite Jeff Duncan from Rugged Cross Cowboy Church up to lead us in a word of prayer. Jeff, I appreciate you being here today.
I'm honored to be invited back, and I appreciate each one of you and everything you do. Paul in 2 Timothy tells us that we are to pray for our leaders. And prayer is something we can none get enough of, or too much of. And, being Christians, we're all called. And I'll tell you a little something before we pray here, and I don't mean to take up too much time, but the Sunday before Election Day this year, I preached on that, praying for our leaders. And as I stood there and I told everyone, I said, you're to pray for Democrats, you're to pray for Republicans, independents, and anyone in between. And as I scanned the room, I seen a lot of mouths open and eyebrows raised, but it's our duty as Christians to lift up our leaders, and I appreciate everything that you all do. I know there's a lot of other pastors, I can't say Christians, that are praying for you, but I know a lot of pastors are lifting you all up, and most of the time in a leadership role we do nothing right. I'm sure you all can relate to that.
Amen.
But I do appreciate all you all do, and keep up the good work, men and women, and thank you all so much for inviting me. I was here last year, and I figure either I done something right or you couldn't find anybody else.
You did something
but
right.
if you would bow your heads with me. Father, well, thank you so much for the day that you've given us, for getting us up and out and about this morning, for breath and life and hope, for your son Jesus that died on the cross, that gave us this great plan of salvation. Father, I just ask that you'd put your hand upon each one that's here today, these leaders of our county. Father, that they would seek you in everything that they do. Father, that each one of us here in this room and in this building would put you first and seek your advice on everything we do. Father, just pray that you would bless this meeting. Father, that we would make that each one would make the right decision, that they would be led by you in all things. Father, just help us as we walk through our communities to walk holy and upright, Father, not only before you but before our people, that we may set the example that they need to follow. All these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
If everyone would please stand and face our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. Members of the court, y'all have had a chance to look over our previous meeting minutes. That was on our June 13th, 2023 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second, and I think we got the name. Did you? Was that in the minutes?
Yeah.
We got that. Yeah.
I just want to get somebody.
No, it was good. Anytime y'all see something in the minutes that's not quite right, it's good so we got that fixed, so just FYI.
Thank you, sir.
Call the roll.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Lockmiller.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Boykin.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you all. Next, Treasurer's Report. It's our fourth Tuesday, so we have our very own Sarah Stewart with us, our Madison County Treasurer. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm making sure it's on this time. Don't think it is? Okay, thanks. Okay, as of May 31st, 2023, our total fund balance was $37,483,858.38. Our general fund revenues were at 124.3%, expenditures at 43.4%. Our road fund, 89.2% in revenues, 69.8% in expenditures. The jail fund at 110.5% in revenues and 86.6% in expenditures. LGEA Fund at 99.7 in revenues, 24.5 in expenditures, CSEP at 38.2 in revenues and 37.1 in expenditures, 911 Fund at 96.6 in revenues and 82.7 in expenditures, and our health account was at 80.7 in revenues and 75.8% in expenditures.
Healthcare, 75.8, is what you said?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Any questions? These are kind of the end of the fiscal year, so you can see how we've kind of done throughout this previous fiscal year, so looks pretty good. So, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. All right, first order of business today is second reading of ordinance 2023-04. This is the administrative code for 2023-2024. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. So this is the second reading. It was read in its entirety 2 courts ago. In short, in summary for the first one, this is the policy and guidelines that all of our personnel follows.
All right, y'all have had a chance to review. Thank you. Ordinance 2023-04. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. This is the second reading. Any questions? Hearing none. Is there any public comment today on ordinance 2023-04? This is the second reading. We did advertise appropriately by KRS. And hearing none, call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, second reading of ordinance 2023-05. This is our drug and alcohol-free workplace policy for 2023-2024.
So this is the
Good
second
morning,
reading.
Morgan.
You're going to see a lot of me today. This is the second reading as well. So in summary, this is our drug and alcohol-free workplace policy, which again governs drug and alcohol-free workplace. So this is the policy that all of our employees are required to follow.
And our policy works pretty well, doesn't it?
It does.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-05, Judge.
Thank you, Tom.
Second.
Have a second. Thanks, Steve. Any comments, any questions, any discussion? Any public comment? This is, again, ordinance 2023-05. It has been advertised appropriately. This is the second reading, so it's the time that we would have public comment. Hearing none, call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, second reading of ordinance 2023-06. This is Code of Ethics for 2023-2024. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. So again, this is the second reading. It was read in its entirety 2 courts ago. A summary of the Code of Ethics. This is the operation manual that essentially dictates how elected officials and employees are to operate within our government.
And is this what our ethics board oversees, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah. Like me, at least yearly,
Yeah.
to review everybody's financial
Financial
disclosures.
disclosures.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have heard the second reading of ordinance 2023-06. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd just like to say, Judge, that the administrative code, the drug and alcohol policy, and the Code of Ethics are all very good documents, and I challenge all of our employees to read them.
Absolutely. Hey, they don't, Tom. We try to get them to, though, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, they sign off on them,
Yeah.
and I'll let you guys know upon approval today, they'll be sent to all employees for review with the highlights of the big changes, and they'll sign those, and those will be filed in their personnel files.
All right. Yeah, we do need to vote, but any public comment on ordinance 2023-06? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, second reading of ordinance 2023-07. This is the fiscal court budget for 2023-2024. Good morning again, Sarah.
Good morning. An ordinance to adopt the 23-24 fiscal court budget, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the administration of the county budget, and whereas Madison County Fiscal Court has reviewed the proposed 23-24 fiscal court budget, and whereas the county treasurer has reviewed the budget to ensure sound financial practices, now therefore it be ordained by the Fiscal Court of County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, does hereby approve the proposed 23-24 fiscal court budget. This ordinance shall become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption.
Thank you, Sarah. You all heard ordinance 2023-07. It's our Madison County Fiscal Court budget for 2023-2024. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any public comment? This is the second reading. Hearing none, I do want to thank you for your due diligence. We all work very hard when it comes time. All our department heads, we work together on creating our budget, and this is a good budget, and I'm proud of it. Our general fund's at $37.5 million. We have road fund at $4 million, jail fund at $5.3 million, our LGA at $500,000, federal grants at $750,000, CSEP at a little over $27 million, 911 $2.5 million, our health insurance is $2.4, almost $2.5 million. Clerk fund is $160,000. Then our American Rescue Fund, which is ARPA fund, is $8.5 million. And then we have our opioid settlement at $1 million for a total of a little over $90 million budget this year. So, which is pretty consistent with last year. It's not too far off. Hearing no more comments or questions, call the roll.
Master Coleman? Yes. Master Lockwood? Yes. Yes. Master Bucket?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you all. Thanks, Sarah. All right, next, second reading of ordinance 2023-09. This is flood damage prevention. Clay, good morning.
Morning. This is an ordinance adopting a flood damage prevention guide. This ordinance supersedes ordinance 08-11, whereas the legislature of the Commonwealth of Kentucky has in Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 100, delegated to local government units the authority to adopt regulations designed to promote the public health, safety, and general welfare of its citizenry. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Madison County, Kentucky to adopt the attached flood damage prevention ordinance for floodplain management. This ordinance shall become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-09, Judge.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2023-09. This is second reading. Any discussion? We will need their signatures for this document for all the magistrates, so before y'all get out of here today, I'll get y'all to sign this, okay? All right, this is second reading. Any public comment? Seeing none, call the roll.
Master Lockwood? Yes. Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Master Coleman?
Yes.
Just
Yes. Thanks, Clay. Appreciate it. Good work. Next is first reading of ordinance 2023-10. It's local option alcohol sales. And we have Steve Amato with us here today. Steve, if you will, come up to the mic.
Yes, sir.
And you can give us an overview of ordinance number 2023-10. This will be our alcohol beverage control ordinance.
Thank you, Judge. Members of the court, thanks for letting me be here this morning to explain a little bit about what went behind the thought process in this ordinance. And I can tell you there were essentially 5 goals or guiding principles behind this. The first being an ordinance that was bare bones, that let the court and the administration manage the sale and delivery of alcohol in its own discretion. Number 2, clarity in language, clarity in provisions so that there was as little ambiguity as possible. 3, consistency with state law. State law could essentially be relied upon to manage the entirety of this process if you elected to do so. I worked hard to make sure that there were no inconsistencies with state law so that that worked seamlessly. 3rd, consistency to a degree with the alcohol ordinance of the city of Richmond to make sure there was consistency in hours of sale and certain enforcement issues. 5th, basically to allow the county to administer and enforce these laws both at the criminal level in the district court and through the civil administrative proceeding that will be led by your county administrator when he or she is appointed. Those were the goals. I'm happy to discuss any of the specifics at this time or answer questions later.
All right. Jenny, we should probably read this first section of the ordinance. Is that correct?
Need to read what would be a summary.
Yeah. An ordinance relating to alcohol beverage control, establishing alcoholic beverage control administrator, establishing license fees, prohibiting certain activities by alcoholic beverage licenses, and setting penalties for violations. Whereas by and through a majority of registered voters, Madison County may now permit the sale of alcohol throughout the unincorporated limits of the county of Madison in accordance with the applicable local, state, and federal law. Whereas the county of Madison, also known as county throughout this document, therefore wishes to establish uniform regulations and requirements for the licensing and regulation of alcoholic beverages pursuant to authorization under KRS Chapter 241 through 244 and all other applicable law, and then be it ordained, and then it gets into a lot of the details there. So that's pretty much the summary. Thank you, Steve. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the first reading of ordinance number 2023-10?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any questions?
So the way I understand it, Judge, this ordinance had to be put in, or had to be enacted before July the 18th, is that correct?
It is, I think, and I don't want to quote myself exactly, but I think it's 60 days after the certification of the election. And I think when we did the math on that, it made it that, you know, you could give, I guess, permits or applications. You could start accepting applications, I think, after July 18th. And so we're trying to stay ahead of that date because we already have many citizens that are going to be wanting some type of license. And so we were having the first reading today, which puts our second reading at our July 11th, I believe, will be our second reading of this.
So when would this ordinance take effect? After the second reading?
It would, but we couldn't actually issue any licenses until the 60 days after, which would be the earliest, I think, is July 18th. I'm 99% sure. Is that correct? And then, Jill, I think this would be also a good time to kind of talk a little bit, can we talk a little bit about the portal? I don't know how much detail that we have. I think it would be good for the court to understand sort of this process, even if we don't have it 100% exact. I know Steve, we've had many conversations with Steve and how other communities have utilized this portal. And I think you all have had some meetings. Chris, I know Chris is on vacation, but would you just kind of give a little bit of overview?
So obviously when businesses, citizens of Madison County would like to apply for alcohol license, there's an ability to do that through the state, but there's also a local application that will have to, it doesn't have to, is my understanding, but it's best, and that was our recommendation of our council, that you have a local application as well. And so citizens will use, or businesses will use the same portal that they're accustomed to using. And so our team, Morris and Chris and all of the IT team, has built a portal that actually integrates with our business license portal. And so Bert and myself and Morris and all the users, I guess you would say, have worked through that process. So they have the ability to kind of be a one-stop shop for and make it extremely business friendly. So they can go online, they can apply for their license, they can upload their state applications, they can upload any documentation that's required. And from an alcohol ordinance standpoint, as you all will go through, there's several things based on state statute that are required if you're an owner of an establishment that requires or is asking for a license. There's certain certifications, there's certain things that are required as that business owner. So all of that will be able to be uploaded. It'll also give them the ability to, if they don't have a business license, say they're a new business, and we're going to say they're in northern Madison County, and they're applying for a new business, and they don't have a business license, it stops them at that point and says, whoa, hold on, we're going to make this easy for you. You can get a business license and you can apply for your alcohol license at the same time. And so that portal gives our team the ability to look at all those documents. It'll also make sure, part of our ordinance that you all will review, is they have to be in good standing on all taxes, all permits, and all that sort of stuff. So it gives our team kind of I don't want to say a stopgap, to be able to check and sign off on those things. They can even upload, they can go, there's a link to the sheriff's office for tax purposes on there, so they can upload their tax statement that shows that they paid the sheriff's office their taxes, so it's all integrated into one portal. We kind of got a challenge, and you all know that our IT team always likes a good challenge, and so when we're meeting with McBrayer and Steve and his team, they talked about how no city or county really does it well from a portal standpoint. And so that felt like a good challenge for our team. And they said, if you can do it good, it'll probably be adopted all over the state, what your portal looks like. And so you throw Chris and Mo a good challenge like that, they're like, I guarantee ours is going to be the best in the state. So that's kind of how we went through that process. But it was really important from an operations standpoint that it integrates with our business license, net profits, occupational tax, to make sure that a business that's going to be having an alcohol license is also in good standing in all of those other areas as well.
I've seen a couple of notices in the paper already,
Yeah.
for intent to apply for package license. Is that part of this process here, or is this?
That's part of the state process and part of the requirements for a business that is applying for a license, and so they have to do that, and they were quick. We've had a lot of calls. I know Bert in his office has had a lot of calls. We've had some calls and visits at our office as well. And so, I mean, I think the people knew that it voted and passed on the ballot. And so there's a very good outline that KRS outlines for citizens and counties and businesses, that here's the steps that you go through. And so Steve and his team have been through that very many times, and they've written and helped write ordinances all across the state. And so obviously that's why you all made the decision to work with them so that they could be a part of that as well. Does that help from a portal standpoint?
It does, yeah.
I think the big
it's great.
key is, and this was a huge priority, is integration, and that integration with business license and our other operational functions that already give them the ability to do that online, upload those documents.
And the other thing too about this too, and this is another point, Tom, that I'm just thinking of as far as why this is really kind of, you want to kind of be getting this all done before July 18th, is because the county now, we only get so many licenses, and it's based off population. And so if we don't have our, I guess, act together, then, Brea does, or, City of Richmond wants more licenses, they can use them. I mean, it's kind of at that point, Steve, it's kind of first come, first served, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The total amount of quota licenses is based on the county population, so there's no longer any set aside for any municipality or the county separately. There's a total pool of available 41 licenses. 16 have already been issued, so there'll be 25 available package licenses once this goes into effect.
Right.
Additional ones.
So we don't have just so many for just the unincorporated limits, right? So it's really a first come, first serve. So we want to make sure that we give our local businesses that are out in the county the opportunity to be in business out there, if they choose, it's all their choice. So.
I've got one question, maybe Steve can answer this. For an existing business that has a license that just wants to sell on Sunday, what process will they have to go through before or on July 18th?
An existing business that wants to add a Sunday privilege to apply for a Sunday license.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And that can go through the portal?
Well, that would be going probably through the state, though, right?
It would be both.
Both, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But our hours of operation are allowing it, because we I've had discussions with Brea.
Right.
We feel like that we really want to be consistent with Richmond, Brea, and the county being all the times being consistent. And so the hours of operation that is in our ordinance is the mere hours of operation that the city of Richmond already has.
Which I think makes a lot of sense.
does, yeah.
But having a constituent that's going to ask me how they can get that switch on.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask that question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I also
Judge.
think,
Go ahead, Tom.
no, it's all right. I was just going to make a comment about the administrator. It says in this document that the county, currently it's our judge, but we will probably have an ABC administrator. And there's a lot of training and things that individual have to go through. There's a lot of responsibilities that individual have to go through. So we'll make sure we get the right person for that. And make sure we follow all the regulations, and good luck, Bert, or some other lucky individual.
Yeah, you got it.
I was just gonna say, Judge, I make no bones about it, that, you know, it's disappointing to me that we even had to vote on this ordinance. I'm against alcohol sales, and especially when every court meeting we ever have, we talk about a jail issue, we talk about mental health issues. And this just compounds the problem in my perspective. But I know the people have spoken, 20% of 70,000 of them spoke anyway.
Yeah.
And so I just make that point.
Yeah. Any other comments? Any other questions? This is first reading. We will advertise appropriately before July the 11th, which will be our second reading. If there's no more discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Bakken,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Lockmuller,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thank you all. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. We'll see you back here July the 11th. Let's see. Okay, first reading of ordinance 2023-11. This is a land use change, 1703 Richmond Road North from UC 7 Agriculture to UC 4 General Commercial. Bert.
Good morning, everybody. This is an ordinance relating to the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, approving the zone change of 1703 Richmond Road North in Berea, Kentucky, and authorizing the amendment of the official zoning map of Madison County, Kentucky. Whereas the hereinafter described land is located in Madison County, Kentucky, and whereas the Madison County Planning Commission held a public hearing on Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, to consider a land use change request application from UC 7 Agriculture to UC 4 General Commercial. Upon presentation by the applicant and with no parties appearing in opposition to the application, findings of fact were made by the Planning Commission as described in their summary of evidence, findings of fact, and recommendations to the Fiscal Court attached hereto and made a part hereof for all purposes as follows. That the existing zoning classification is inappropriate and the proposed zoning classification is appropriate for the following reasons. The character of the surrounding area and this property are more suitable for commercial purposes as the subject property is in close proximity to other properties used for business purposes. The property is not adequate for farming-related activities as it is not large enough to comply with the minimum requirements as described by the comprehensive plan and applicable regulations. The property has never served as a residential facility and has only served as a garage since its construction. But small residential lots along major highways are discouraged by the comprehensive plan, and the location of the existing structure limits possible residential use due to the site and dimensional requirements of a single-family residence. The proposed zone, UC4, will not disrupt traffic along US 25, nor will its use disrupt the surrounding property's quiet enjoyment. The property's existing zone, UC7, is not appropriate, and the proposed zone, UC4, is appropriate. And whereas the Madison County Planning Commission, upon hearing testimony, made a motion with unanimous consent to recommend to the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve the land use change request from UC7 to UC4. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has reviewed said findings and recommendations of the Madison County Planning Commission, and being otherwise sufficiently advised, does hereby adopt the findings of fact made thereby. Now therefore be it ordained and enacted by the Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that the land use classification of the following described property be changed by this ordinance from UC7 to UC4 classification. Section 1 is a legal description of the property. Section 2, that the Madison County GIS coordinator make the appropriate changes to the official zoning map of Madison County, Kentucky. And Section 3, that the county clerk cause this ordinance to be published in accordance with Kentucky Revised Statute. This ordinance will become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-11, Judge.
Thanks, Tom.
Second.
Thanks, Brian. Have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2023-11. This is the first reading
Did y'all get the map this
for
time?
approval.
So, Bert, I was getting ready to say that we asked you to include a map with these, and you did, and we certainly appreciate that.
Robin did.
Thank you very much, Robin.
This piece of property is right on the corner of Millis Road and Richmond Road 25. It's never been anything but a garage built 40 years ago, probably. They just wanted to get it up into compliance. Obviously, it's agriculture right now. It's not appropriate for farming, so they're just trying to get it.
So, you know, you learned something. I've been a magistrate for 9 years now, and I'm ashamed to say that in my 9 years, I did not know that that lot that you were talking about in that area was part of the Hayes Fork subdivision.
Yeah, Judge and I had a conversation about that this morning. I don't really look at the legal description of the property real closely. I'll leave that up to the attorneys, but yeah, we did verify that and looked it up on the deed for the property. It seems to be accurate.
Yeah, Tom taught me, this morning a lot too, right below it, you said it's Hayes Fort.
Yeah, this is like lot 10 of the Hayes Fork subdivision, so.
It's interesting. Which Hayes Fork does run down through there.
Yeah.
We saw on the map this morning. Yeah. All right, any questions, any comments? This is the first reading. And I'm gonna do this for both our first readings, both these past ordinances. The first reading of ordinance 2023-10, those local option alcohol sales, and the first reading of ordinance 2023-11, land use change 1703 Richmond Road North from UC7 Agriculture to UC4 General Commercial. For any citizen that would like to make a public comment, please feel free to email the comment to comments@madisoncountyky.us. A copy of this ordinance will be available on our website at www.madisoncountyky.us under the Transparency tab. So these are both first readings. So no more comments on the first reading of ordinance 2023-11. Call the roll.
Master Bucking,
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Lockmuller.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Bert. Next, resolution 2023-75. This is Madison County Sheriff's 2022 local tax settlement. And we have Major Terry with us today. Good morning, Tony. To read our ordinance, or to read our resolution, sorry.
All right. A resolution to approve the 2022 Madison County Sheriff's Local Tax Settlement. Whereas the Madison County Sheriff's Department collected $59,036,379.47 in taxes for the county in 2022, and whereas the Madison County Sheriff's Department disperses payments to all districts within the county, and whereas the Madison County Sheriff's Local Tax Settlement is prepared annually to allow state auditors to audit the Madison County Sheriff's Department's books, which is attached hereto this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court does hereby approve the resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thanks, Tony. Y'all heard resolution 2023-75. What's the pleasure of the court, please?
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2023-75. Any discussion?
I just had a question, Tony. We, over the several years here, we used to see audits, and I know that there was some push to lengthen those out because of the expense of doing that on the sheriff's office. Do you know what the last audit was?
Our last audit was 2021 audit, I believe. They're usually a year behind. So we'll do the 2022 audit, I believe, this year. Also, just for your information, we mailed out 37,947 tax bills. And out of that amount, we were able to collect 98.38% of those, which is outstanding.
And y'all collect those, Tony, from November 1st through April 1st, right?
Yes.
And then once April 1st hits, or maybe it's March 30th or whatever, but that then goes to Kenny, right? Is that when they become delinquent?
15th.
It's April
April
15th.
It's tax day.
And then they go
Tax
to
day. Okay.
her.
Yeah. Okay. October
We start
1st.
October the 1st, and they get a 2% discount at that point.
Oh, right, you start
Yeah.
collecting them, but right.
Yeah.
That 2% has, if you don't do it by the 30th of October, then you don't
No,
get
I
the
believe it's
discount.
by the 30th of November.
It's in November.
30th of November.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally messing
You
things
don't read
up.
your tax bill.
So I don't, my wife does it, she pays it all. Yeah, for some reason I had November 1st in my head.
Well, you can see the bottom numbers there. I mean, I just want to point out that Mary Margaret and her team at our office are just outstanding with this. Just over the years, I've noticed the same process, if you will. You know, they're only all 40 cents, 44 cents, 5 cents, 12 cents for each particular district. And I mean, that's, when you're dealing with $70 million worth of money, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's great. All right, any other questions, comments? We do have a motion and second to approve resolution 2023-75. Call Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckman?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Tony, appreciate it. Next is Resolution 2023-76. This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Treasurer. Jill.
Good morning. This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County Treasurer, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of the Madison County Treasurer, and whereas in accordance with KRS 68.010, the Madison County Fiscal Court shall appoint a county treasurer for a term of 4 years, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Sarah Stewart as fit for the position of Madison County Treasurer. Now therefore be it resolved that this fiscal court does hereby approve Sarah Stewart as the Madison County Treasurer for a 4-year term.
All right, members of the court, you've heard Resolution 2023-76.
Be glad to make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
We're lucky to have you.
We are.
You're stuck with us.
You can't go anywhere now. Hurry up, call the roll. Call the roll.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckman?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Appreciate you, sir. All right, let's see. Next, Resolution 2023-77. It's Madison County Information Technology Services Agreements for 2023-2024. Jill.
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the signature of the 2023-2024 Madison County Information Technology Service Agreements, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is providing IT services and desires to sign contractual agreements for those services with the following: Madison County 911, Madison County Clerk's Office, Madison County Detention Center, Madison County Sheriff's Office, Madison County Attorney's Office, Kirksville Water Association, Madison County Utilities District, Madison County PVA, Madison County EMS, and Southern Madison Water District. And whereas these contracts shall be certified for necessary IT service work billable every 12 months. And whereas the terms of these contracts are from July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. And whereas under these service agreements, with the exception of emergency services, shall be performed with standard county work hours, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and will be completed by an employee with the Madison County Information Technology Department. Now therefore be it resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county. Clearly, this is Chris's resolution that I'm standing in for today.
Yeah, I'm glad Chris gets to go on vacation. He deserves it. All right, Resolution 2023-77. Thank you, Jill. It's a pleasure to the court.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So Judge and Jill, first of all, I would just like to say that I wish I'd known Chris was on vacation. I wouldn't have called him last night. But he did answer, and he did answer my questions about the couple of small issues that I've had on it, so thank you. Thank you, Chris, wherever you are.
Chris is probably watching, knowing
Oh,
Chris.
you know he is. I hope he's sitting with his feet in the sand, watching.
I think he's probably at dance competition today, so.
Oh, is he?
I'm probably not that lucky, but obviously you all know that these, agreements are with our other county, officials, and they help offset some of the cost of our IT, and I think Kenny and Jenny, both being here, can probably speak, and Sheriff can speak to, what that is, those agreements do for them, save them a lot of money.
Yeah, we would be duplicating services, and those, you can imagine if you had two different IT groups, your IT group and my IT group, how well they'd probably get along, so. And we both have to stay out of it and say, I don't know anything about that stuff, and I figured out it's like the expansion of outer space. It's so far away from me that I'll never catch it, so I got to hire somebody to do it. And Chris, they do an excellent job.
I love how, it brings a lot of us together and provides that service to our other colleagues and elected officials. We kind of created a little bit of a business where we charge that, so it shows the benefit of our IT team. It allows us to have a little revenue to help pay for it. Puts a number to it. It's good. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, next, Resolution 2023-78, a resolution to approve the Madison County Annual Employee Classification Schedule for fiscal year 2023-2024. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. A resolution to approve the Madison County Annual Employee Classification Schedule for fiscal year 2023-2024, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has established an employee classification schedule for the benefit of all employees of the fiscal court to ensure fair and consistent wages for all job classifications, and whereas the employee classification schedule is updated annually, now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve the 2023-2024 employee classification schedule.
Thank you, Morgan. Pleasure of the court.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2023-78. Any questions?
I had comments this morning with Jill and Morgan about the schedule and the way it was structured, simply because in the past that we had put in a lot of effort to create a sustainable scale that, at least on the surface, appeared to take out the good old boy system, in my opinion. And so this unfortunately, the downside of that was it locked us from attaining some individuals with a lot of experience because of the grading system they had to go to. So, this gives us a little more flexibility. It'll give our hiring teams a little more flexibility that we may be able to get a little bit better qualified person and pay them a little more in the process for that. I still caution that we monitor and keep a good eye on it, because I don't want to see the old system return, basically. We've had that discussion this morning. The good old boy system, Judge, is dead and gone.
It is dead and gone.
And I don't want to see it resurrected with this.
And it's going to stay gone.
Yes, sir.
And
what we've done here, I want to make sure, people that are watching doesn't speculate that this is going back to that, because it's not. We're not going back to that. I ran 10 years ago because of that good old boy system, and so it's not coming back while I'm here.
Yeah, it needs to take in place things that I know this fiscal quarter feel like are important, and that's loyalty and performance and actually doing something rather than just getting a check. So I applaud direction.
We've worked very, very, very hard on having a good, positive environment in our workforce. And Morgan has done an exceptional job staying up with the trends, with what the society's doing, what the nation's doing, what attracts, what we need to implement. I mean, she is a full-time professional that is fabulous in her job. And I hope y'all see that. And I hope that you get comfort in knowing that the decisions that we make are good ones. They're sound ones. We're trying to stay competitive. I mean, y'all, we've sat here together and been fighting. Tom, you and I've sat here together for 9 years, 8.5 years. You know what our fight's been with trying to recruit daggone employees. I mean, how many days is it now in the road department? We can't find employees. 1,200 maybe.
Over 3 years.
1,100. I mean.
Over 3 years.
Yeah. And so we're looking for ways, again, that are efficient, but that we can also, be able to recruit employees better, sort of staying with the trends. But we will protect that time.
That was part of my discussion with Morgan this morning was, some headhunter keeps watching our court and hearing you describe what a great employee she comes and offers a whole pile of money that we can't compete with and leave.
Well, that's already happened, just FYI, but I've kept her. I kept her.
And we end up with someone else.
Bring the headhunters on. I love the
that may not
competition.
be aware of what is the history that's brought us to where we're at right now today.
I can't imagine, coming from the business world, how the county operated without an individual like Morgan. It's beyond me how the county even got by. Because you got to have structure, and you got to have people that are knowledgeable and people that want to be here and do a good job, and obviously we have that in Morgan.
We don't need to be bragging on anybody. That's come out because it's broadcast, so we just, if you do.
She's okay. She's all right, ain't she, Billy?
You do.
She does fair.
Well, a good friend of mine always told me, he said, do you want who everybody else wants? Or do you want who nobody wants? What's the
That's
name?
right, you want people other people want to hire,
That's right.
not the other way around.
Yeah. So,
That's
And one of
just the nature of the
things
beast.
That's important to me about this is it's not that long ago, we didn't have an HR department.
That was my point.
I mean, we were deaf and blind,
I don't know how.
bumping in the dark. So we've come a long way since then.
And I will say this, I know with, Billy Ray brought up about, talking about people and praising them or whatever, but as someone that came from the business world, they want to know that you appreciate them. So we just have to do it in such a way that it follows the guidelines. But people want to know that you appreciate them.
absolutely.
Yeah, keep giving those appreciations to our people, because any bit of research that you look at as far as people leaving employment, majority of the time it's because of the culture or their leadership team. So definitely commend all of them for their work in retaining people.
Thank you, Morgan. We do have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2023-78. No more discussion. Call the roll.
Master Bucking,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Lockmuller,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate you. Resolution 2023-80, Road Department Annual Bid Awards. Or did I miss one?
Yep.
Skipped one.
79.
Which one did I skip?
The
Annual
most
Employee
important
Rate
one.
Adjustment, sorry. Resolution 2023-79, Annual Employee Rate Adjustments for 2023-24. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. A resolution to adopt employee rate adjustments for fiscal year 2023-2024, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has established employee rate adjustments for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, and whereas the merit-based rate adjustments are updated annually, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to adopt the annual employee rate adjustments for the 2023-2024 fiscal year to become effective the pay period beginning June 21st, 2023. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Morgan. What's the pleasure of the court with Resolution 2023-79?
Motion to approve, Judge.
Second?
Have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
So my only question is there were some color codes in here?
Yes.
The red obviously are capped.
Correct.
What's the designators for the blue and green?
So the blue is promotions, and the green are employees that have not been with us, under 6 months, which means they are ineligible for a merit increase because we can't evaluate someone that's only been here 6 months.
Which is in our administrative code.
Yes.
So I did have some questions about this, Judge, that I got answered from Jill and Morgan, and Chris helped me out with a couple things last night, so
You good?
I'm good.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing and hearing none, call the roll.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Lockmuller,
Yes.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Bucking.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Resolution 23 let me make sure I'm not messing this up again. Yes, 23-80, Road Department Annual Bid Awards. Scott, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. A resolution for awarding Madison County Road Department 2023-2024 annual bids. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is required to approve of all bids in accordance with the administrative code, and whereas bids are for asphalt, bulk engine oils, concrete, culverts, petroleum, rock, and de-icing road salt. And whereas bids were properly posted and have been opened and reviewed, and whereas the Madison County Road Department is recommending award of the opened as follows. Asphalt to the Allen Company Incorporated, bulk engine oils to Apollo Oil, concrete to Concrete Materials, culverts to Interstate Construction Products, petroleum to Kentucky Petroleum Supply, rock to the Allen Company, de-icing road salt to Morton Salt Incorporated. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve the following bids and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to sign any documents regarding the contracts on behalf of the county.
All right, thank you, Scott. Y'all have heard Resolution 2023-80. Do I have a motion and a second?
That's
So
motion.
moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Scott,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I believe you left out the plastic pipe. I don't believe you actually said it.
Well, it actually goes with the culverts.
Okay, all right.
It was just, all I was trying to do was break down the prices for you.
That's
so
fine.
you
I just
could-
wanted to make sure if it needed to be
Yes, sir.
in here, that it would be in here.
No, it's same company.
Okay.
So the culverts, or the ADS is all coming from
Yes,
interstate construction?
correct.
All right. Tom?
We didn't really have anything to compare to, and I couldn't remember that far back off the top of my head, Scott, but how did prices compare to last year, basically?
There was a slight increase. As far as across the board, it wasn't hardly 10%. I noticed probably the biggest discrepancy we had is, again, we followed your all's advice to do the CAECO salt auction, and then we bid it on our own. The bids we actually got in on our own were $104. The cheapest bid on the CAECO auction was $118. So we chose naturally to go with our own bid system.
Good.
And that was only up less than $2
Yeah.
per ton for salt.
What was the basic difference in asphalt?
I have it all here.
And I'm sure we didn't get multiple bids on asphalt, right? I'm
We
sure-
didn't. We only
I'm
had
sure
one
it's just
bidder.
Annika.
Asphalt increase per ton for base was $3.45 per ton, and for surface, $2.60 per ton. That's if we go get it. And if we actually have them delay it, the price difference was a $6.95 increase for base and $8 increase for laid surface.
Good.
And I have everything broke down. If you have any more questions, or if you'd like to see this after court, I'd be glad to share it with you. I've done a whole analysis of every bid.
Scott, go
Only
ahead,
other
Tom.
one I had was petroleum. That price is locked for a year. Is that correct?
Yes. We did have a couple bidders that did not want to lock it, so therefore it threw their bids out. That's the reason they wasn't chosen. They may have been a little cheaper, but they would not lock their price in.
My question was, did we have multiple bids on some of this stuff?
On most of it.
Most of it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It wouldn't hurt our feelings to have another winter this year like we had last year.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, no
More than
kidding.
the year before.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're on a good roll right now.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? All right, hearing none, call the roll.
Master Lockmuller,
Yes.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Bakken.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thanks, Scott, appreciate it. Next, Resolution 2023-81, this is the Kentucky Animal Control Advisory Board Spay and Neuter Grant Application. And this is Katie. Good morning, Katie, how are you?
Pretty good. Good morning,
Good.
everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so whereas the Kentucky Animal Control Advisory Board, or KCAB, is accepting applications for the 2023 Spay and Neuter Grant Program, and whereas funds for the 2023 KCAB Spay and Neuter Grant Program are to be awarded on a competitive basis for spaying and neutering companion animals, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, desires to make an application for the 2023 KCAB Grant Program funds to spay and neuter companion animals in Madison County, and whereas the County of Madison, Kentucky wishes to authorize the Judge Executive and/or his designee to make an application for these 2023 KCAB Spay and Neuter Companion Grant Program funds, and if the application is successful, to enter into an agreement with the KCAB to administer this award, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary to facilitate and administer this award, to act as the authorized correspondent for this award, and whereas the KCAB will award up to $1,500 to applicants on a competitive basis, and whereas the local funding is considered in the scoring of these grant applications, but a local match is not required, and whereas Madison County Fiscal Court is requesting KCAB grant funds in the amount of $1,500 in our grant application, now therefore be it resolved this 27th day of June 2023 by Madison County, Kentucky, the Judge Executive and/or his designee is hereby authorized to execute and furnish all required documents, including memorandum of agreements, as may be required for the furtherance of the above reference project, and to act as the authorized correspondent for said project.
Thank you, Katie. Y'all heard Resolution 2023-81. What's the pleasure of the court?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Bakken,
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Resolution 2023-82, this is an AOC lease agreement on family court building. Good morning, again.
Good morning again. A resolution approving a 2024 fiscal year lease agreement between the Administrative Office of the Courts and Madison County Fiscal Court for office space in the Madison County Family Court Building. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, hereinafter local government, agrees to lease office space in the Madison County Family Court Building in the Administrative Office of the Courts, hereinafter AOC. And whereas the local government and AOC agree to the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement and Exhibits A, B, and C, which are attached to this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve to enter into this agreement and authorizes the judge, executive, and/or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county to go into effect July 1st, 2023.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-82, Judge.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? I do want to let the court know that this is on the family court building and it says CDW because CDW is actually upstairs. We've actually been losing a little bit of money on this versus what our bond payment is over the last several years, and what the AOC's original lease was. And that, they had an original lease, it was per foot price, which we took over from individuals that we bought it from. And so we've been working with them over the last several years to resolve this kind of yearly loss, which I think over the last 5 years, it's equated to about $114,000. And so what they've decided to in this lease is they're going to actually start making our bond payments. And bond payments, if you notice our payment schedule, they'll fluctuate a little bit. You know, some years there's a little more principal, some years there's a little more interest, but the payment will fluctuate a little bit. And so they've chosen for the life of the bond now, from this point forward, to make that actual payment directly to the, I think it's U.S. Bank, I think. And then they're going to actually reimburse us every quarter this year our $114,000 that we've lost. So just FYI, I just want to make sure. 'Cause Tom, I know you'd be used to them paying, I think it was $26.10 per foot is what they've paid in the past of the 19,000 square feet. And so now they'll just be paying an automatic bond payment directly, okay?
Good.
And that way we're not losing anything.
Good.
So, all right. If no more questions, we do have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Luckmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is the same. It's a resolution for AOC lease agreement for the drug court office.
A resolution approving a 2024 fiscal year lease agreement between the Administrative Office of the Courts and Madison County Fiscal Court for drug court office space. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, hereinafter local government, agrees to lease office space located at 101 North 1st Street, Richmond, Kentucky, for drug court to the Administrative Office of the Courts, hereinafter AOC. And whereas the local government and AOC agree to the terms and conditions set forth in this agreement and Exhibits A and B, which are attached. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve to enter into this agreement and to authorize the judge executive and/or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county to go into effect July 1st, 2023.
Thank you, Sarah. Y'all have heard resolution 2023-83. It's a pleasure of the court.
Move to approve, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? And so just for your all's knowledge, in the next couple of years, once the courthouse project gets completed and everybody gets moved back in, there is space in the courthouse for drug court. So the drug court will no longer be leasing this space, which this building is over the old Ferris Parks building everybody's aware of on the corner of First and Main, where finance used to be. Commonwealth Attorney's upstairs. And so we'll have that space to lease out to somebody that we want. Yep. Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Luckmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, resolution 2023-84 is AOC lease agreement for pretrial office.
A resolution approving a 2024 fiscal year lease agreement between the Administrative Office of the Courts and Madison County Fiscal Court for pretrial office space. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, hereinafter local government, agrees to lease office space located at 107 West Irvin Street, Richmond, Kentucky, for pretrial to the Administrative Office of the Courts, hereinafter AOC. And whereas the local government and AOC agree to the terms and conditions set forth in the agreement and Exhibits A and B, which are attached. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve to enter into this agreement and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county to go into effect July 1st, 2023.
Motion approved resolution 2023-84, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is a pretrial space. This is in the jail detention center. It's a little bitty old room that they use down in the booking area. That's why that yearly lease you see is only $671 because, I mean, it's just like a little 61 square foot little closet. I mean, it is. It's really small, but anyway, that's what they use. That's what this is for. All right. Call the roll.
Master Luckmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Next, Resolution 2023-85 is the Home Incarceration Monitoring System Bid Award. Jill, good morning.
Good morning. This is a resolution awarding a bid for home incarceration monitoring system services, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is required to approve all bids for projects in accordance with the administrative code. And whereas Madison County Fiscal Court requested bids for home incarceration monitoring system services to meet the needs of our judicial system. Whereas the bid notice was properly posted, received, and Madison County Fiscal Court received bids. Whereas the bids have been reviewed and Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to award the bid to MCON Home Guard and enter into a contract for comprehensive home incarceration monitoring system and management. Whereas home incarceration services currently are budgeted in the FY 2023-2024 jail budget expense line items 03-5101-106, 03-5101-446, and 03-4624 revenue line. And whereas at the end of the agreed-upon transition from jail operations to MCON operations, the funds for HIC will be transferred and reallocated to the general fund as recommended by the Department of Local Government. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to negotiate and execute contracts on behalf of the county.
All right. Y'all heard Resolution 2023-85. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
So I have a question, Jill. There's in their proposal, there's a statement that says that someone pays $100. And I'm curious on who pays that and also who performs the installation.
So actually, MCON will actually perform the installation and monitoring, and Jenny can probably speak to the operations of this a little bit. But the $100, if you would notice, it does say that, and that's their pricing guide. But if the sample contract that both competitors or bidders, I guess, provided to us, they are waiving that $100 in the actual contract. So that is their standard pricing guide. However, in their proposal to us, they did waive the $100 fee, which would have been paid by the offender. So I think it says payment of the offender.
It says offender pay.
Offender pay. And am I correct on that, Jenny, of that, how that works? That there's an opportunity for the offender to actually pay that, but most of them do not. And so to avoid those charges potentially?
I wouldn't say most of them do not. You got to understand, this is a company that works in the private sector. So a lot of the ones that they do have to come in and pay and hook it up. But these are people who have private attorneys who are working, and there's a reason they're putting on, so they afford to pay it. The RFP comes out to do it for a contract for obviously our indigent clientele who couldn't afford to pay it. So that's why it's in their pricing guide, because that is what it costs when Joe Blow off the streets attorney calls and says, hey, I need you to come hook them up. They have to pay for that hookup fee in addition to their monitoring service. So the difference being that we had asked for somebody to work for the county, to bid out for the county, so that it contracts out for our indigent defendants who can't afford to pay it.
So another thing that I saw I was curious about was the battery life showed at 30 to 48 hours. What happens when the battery dies?
There's a charger. They plug it in. You charge it.
are they physically attached to that while they're doing that? In other words, are they, my battery runs down, I stick my phone on a charger.
Yeah.
Are they plugging that
Yeah,
into
you don't
their
get to take the bracelet off to charge it.
They don't have the ability to
bracelet
take the
stays in.
bra-
Now, there's an extension. It's not like you're gonna be pressed up against the
Hey, if
wall
you
and you're
wanna
not
know what
moving
it-
for the.
If you wanna know what it feels like, just duct tape your phone to your ankle.
I don't want
And then
to
you go,
Yeah.
charge.
I'm sure we
Yes,
can
they're-
arrange for
they're-
you to have a sample to wear for a few, for
I
a few.
think Tom ought to do that on behalf of the court.
I mean, somebody, no.
You don't want a vacation to have to stay
I
home?
also saw a thing that said that there was a clause in there for $800 plus $35 for damage to the device. Who pays that?
I think if I'm not mistaken, in both bids, that was the exact same, and that it will be the cost if it cannot be recovered. The cost will be onto the fiscal court.
Okay, that takes care of me. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes,
Yes.
Master Bucking,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Lockmuller,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is that we need to go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue. I would like us to entertain a motion to go into executive session per KRS 61.810, Section 1, subsection F, to discuss personnel.
So moved.
Second.
And we will be going in at 10:35 a.m. All right. Oh, thanks everybody for being patient. Billy Ray made the motion, Steve seconded it to come out of executive session. Call the roll, please.
You're in a hurry, ain't you? Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckner?
Yes.
Judge Taylor? I'm switching gears from signing paperwork.
Yes. At this time, do we have a motion and a second to act on what we discussed about personnel in executive session?
I make a motion to approve the unpaid suspension of Taylor Hoffman for June 16th, 19th, and 20th.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckner?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. All right, next is personnel. Morgan?
Sorry. I would like to propose the approval for the hiring recommendation that can be found within your court packet.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Scott, I'm glad that we're getting somebody in the road department. I wish it was CDL driver. Maybe we'll get them there. So, any other discussion? Call the roll.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckner?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you.
Morgan. Appreciate you. All right, next is judge's report. Just got a few announcements. We are having kind of a wonderful summer. It's been a little cooler than normal, but had some damage. I want to know that proud of all of our team that's been working the last couple of days after the hailstorm. I don't know that I've ever, Sheriff, I don't know if I've ever witnessed or been through a storm like that before in my life, where it saw the damage and, man, that hail, what it did to some of our people's homes and cars, it's awful. It looked like a war zone yesterday morning when I was coming to work. But thanks for all of our employees, our law enforcement teams, our first responders. I know everybody worked very hard. Scott, road department, fire department, volunteer fire departments. Sunday night, I think most people, y'all out at midnight, Scott? And so I know worked very hard all day yesterday and still trying to clean up some stuff. For any citizen that is maybe watching today, we are working through seeing whether we're going to be able to pick up limbs or help with some of that. And might let you, Chief, maybe hit on that here in a minute when it comes time, if you don't mind. Just talking about those thresholds and how that whole emergency and disaster works, okay? Courthouse renovation project is underway and expected to be complete in the next 18 to 24 months. Did get to do a tour yesterday and of a lot of the demo. Any of the fiscal court members that y'all would like to go over, or any elected official would like to go over and see just some of the old 1850 portions of the courthouse. It's pretty neat to kind of see how they constructed some stuff back then. Now that they've got old plaster and things like that off the walls. Some of the wood construction is pretty fascinating. Some of the old timbers and things like that they used as beams and joists and stuff. So pretty cool. Please join us for our District 4 Town Hall meeting at Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department this coming Thursday. So just 2 days away, June 29th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. This event is open to the public for citizens to ask local elected officials questions or voice their concerns. So please, and you don't have to live in the 4th District to come. You really don't. I mean, if you live in District 3 or 2 or 1, and you couldn't make some of the previous ones, feel free to come. This is just an opportunity for us as elected officials to be right there serving our citizens and being able to answer questions, share concerns. So please come, anybody that wants to. It's Thursday, the 29th, Sheriff, at 5:30 p.m. Again, it'll be out at Kirksville Volunteer Fire Department. Arcadian Cove is hosting a 4th of July bash on Friday, June 30th from 7 p.m. to dark. They will have food trucks, inflatables, a live DJ, fireworks, and more. So anybody that wants to be out at Arcadian Cove and celebrating our freedoms with some of our seniors, please go participate. Lake Reba's 4th of July celebration will be Tuesday, July 4th at Lake Reba Park. Festivities begin at 4 p.m. with fireworks starting at 10 p.m. Contact Richmond Parks and Recreation for more information. Berea's 4th of July Spectacular will be Tuesday, July 4th at Berea City Park. Festivities begin at 6 p.m. with fireworks again at 10 p.m. Contact Berea Parks and Recreation for more information. Soulful Creation is hosting a Taste of Madison County event on Saturday, July 8th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Berea's Farmers Market. For more information, call 859-625-4675. Lighthouse Church Give and Go Community Outreach is hosting a free basketball clinic at the YMCA Saturday, July 15th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for 3rd through 11th grade students. EKU's head basketball coach, A.W. Hamilton, EKU players and coaching staff will be assisting at the event. Call 859-575-1169 for more information. And then Madison County government and its related offices, we will be closed this coming Tuesday, a week from today, July 4th, for Independence Day holiday. We will reopen on Wednesday, July 5th at 8 a.m. That's the end of my report. Comments from our magistrates? Brian, good morning again.
Good morning. We had a really good event at Boonesboro this past weekend, Descendants Day. Had a big crowd there, and I've lived in Madison County my entire life and never visited the Lock 10 Museum, and I encourage people, if they haven't, they're open on Saturdays, and the family that ran that, the Lock Master, the family runs that, and they do a great job. They've got a great story to tell, and it's just a great thing to have in the county, the history that we have here. And just want to wish everybody a happy 4th. I know it's coming up, and I'm grateful to be an American. I'm also grateful to be in this county, grateful to serve this court. I'm just glad to be here.
Glad you're here, my man. Steve.
Yes. I too want to talk about a couple things. One being, I will reinforce what Brian's saying about July 4th and our nation and this country, and I just hope everybody starts getting along, and let's work together, and let's quit working against each other. And we live in the greatest nation that there is at this time, and sometimes I think some people forget that. I'll just be kind. The other thing I want to say is thank you to everybody, all the road crews, the emergency services, the sheriff's department, the volunteer fire departments, and I'm probably forgetting somebody, but thank you for everybody's hard work this past week with the storm. I think Madison County experienced something that was wasn't quite expected to be as bad as it was, and I just want to send a prayer out there for all the affected families. That's it.
Thank you. Bill Ray?
Yeah, in regard to the storm, there's still some recovery going on. Power's still out in some places. It's pretty unbelievable. But and I did have a text from someone, and I think the chief might talk to it. There's a lot of the requests for citizens that have debris that, that don't have the wherewithal to dispose of it. And what can the county do to help those folks? And I don't know, I don't have an answer for that, but that's, there's a need there, and I don't know what I'll be looking, what can I tell some folks that, if they live in a residential area and they got a lot of debris, what do they do with that?
So I'll just echo that same thing. Everybody has stuff that needs picked up. Scott, are all the roads open now?
Every road is open as of 5:30 here.
Okay, good.
You
Good
still
deal.
look tired, buddy.
Yeah, we appreciate the first responders and our volunteer departments, the sheriff's department, everybody did everything everybody else has said. The road department, those guys went out at midnight and put themselves in harm's way to help everybody else. There are still a lot of power lines down in the 4th District, and you just have to be patient. We've got KU and Bluegrass Energy that are doing cleanup, and it's going to take them a while to get some of them. I saw some yesterday that's really it's going to take a little work to get to. Huge trees on power lines that got them all the way down on the ground. I mean, it's just a very dangerous situation. So we just keep all those fellows, and the ones that come in, there's electric companies that send people here to Madison County to help out with those things. We certainly appreciate those individuals as well. Like the judge said, I'd ask everyone to come out to the 4th District Town Hall meeting. It's for all of us on Thursday night. We'd love to see you and hear your comments, questions, whatever you may have. Judge, if anyone needs me, they can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Counselor? You good? Ken?
Don't have anything.
You have anything? Sheriff? You have anything?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say we did have some damage to several of our cruisers during this storm. Most of it is cosmetic, but some of it is pretty extensive on the cosmetic. We also had a limb fall on a couple of vehicles in our impound lot, so the storm hit us as well pretty good. But Philip Sturgill, he resigned last week after he got his medical disability. He's been back to work a week, now he's gone. So we'll be looking for a deputy for that position. We're still looking for 3 part-time deputies for court security. So that's the report there.
Thanks, Sheriff. Anybody else? All right. Department heads. Chief? If you don't mind, come up and just kind of address the court. And I think let's, and I don't know if you or Jill maybe want to hit on this a little bit, just talk a little bit about our radios. I know that I think that a lot of our citizens, have a little bit of a false perception, I'll say, about the use of these radios and who's responsible for these radios. So if you can, maybe we'll use this opportunity in a positive manner to be positive and to maybe educate citizens that maybe
Well, start out with FM alert radio was purchased through CSEP. It's federally funded, and they're the ones that picked those radios, initiated those radios, and sent those radios out. Those radios are to be activated on tornado warnings, not severe thunderstorm warnings. And that comes down through NOAA and the National Weather Service is who puts that alert out. We do not issue those alerts through those radios. Is there anything you want to add to that, Jill? It's pretty much cut and dry the way it is.
But will you stress the fact of the National Radio, or the
National Weather Service.
National Weather Service, which is based out of Louisville for our.
Well, we're kind of in the
region,
middle.
right?
We get some mornings from Louisville, we get some from Jackson. We're right in that, but still yet that's where that alert comes from. It is based out from them and is sent across their airways to the towers, and it goes out across the alert FMs when they issue those. And the other night, if you watched any kind of weather app on your phone and was watching radar, Madison County never was really put onto that warning on those radar. Every county around us and every city was, but we never was actually in that at that warning time. You know, there was a broadband state area, the whole region, that we were under a possible tornado warning and a thunderstorm warning at 2 different times there, but Madison County itself was never included in any of those weather apps that was put in. I don't know whether it was a glitch in their system or what it was, but it never did come out through to our systems or across the alert FMs from the National Weather Service.
I don't know if anyone else got an alarm, but I did get an alert.
I had one come across my phone, but it wouldn't.
I got one on the device.
I got one on the device, and of course, I got one on the phone. I would also say, I thought that several of the TV stations that were, some were active and some weren't as active, but a couple of them did provide some good indication that there was going to be some bad hail and where that hail was and how that storm was moving. So I just encourage people, again, just to pay attention to your weather, because we've got a lot of different resources and don't just rely on one.
Yeah, and the same goes, we set our outdoor weather sirens off, and the key word there is they're outdoor. They're made for people that's outside in parks, out in fields, that's away from TV and radio at home. Those sirens go off in order to alert you to go inside, see what's going on, to seek more instruction. And we did set those off. I gave the command to our crew to set those off the other night, to go ahead and put those out as we was watching the progress of the storm and what was coming. On the storm, we had 5,700 as of yesterday morning without power. As of about 10 minutes ago, we've got 746 customers still in the county without power. On the cleanup, we're waiting for KYM and FEMA to give us notification. If anybody has any damage, we're asking them to call the EOC, 624-4727. And that way we can get out, get an assessment done. We have to meet a threshold of a certain dollar amount for Madison County. Then the state has to meet a certain amount total in order for us to fall into getting reimbursement for that. But we're asking everybody to call. If you've had any damage, we'll get somebody out there, get some pictures took, get this put up, and that way hopefully we'll meet that threshold.
Sounds good. Any questions?
And on debris cleanup, if anybody wants to start cleaning up, if they live in the county, it's all natural vegetation. It's no different than having a bonfire or anything like that. Keep your pile small, cut it up and you burn it. We just asked you to call in to the fire department and let us know you're doing a control burn. As of right now, I don't know of any pickup efforts that we're gonna have until we find out from KYM or FEMA.
Yeah, we have to meet those certain thresholds of damage and before that, you know, we can do some of those projects. The other thing that we're gonna struggle with too is just how short we are with manpower.
Yes.
I mean, that's gonna be tough too, but we do understand, I mean, I understand that this is gonna be an issue to citizens. I mean, we'll try to figure something out where maybe there can't be somewhat of a compromise or something.
And every assessment we do is those guys and gals are on scene doing that assessment. As soon as they leave that area, that expense, dollar amount, whatever goes up right then, it's going right into KYM, so they're tracking us as we're out there building that threshold.
If anybody had any debris, tree limbs they wanted to haul, do we have a place that, if they could haul it?
No, not.
We don't even have a place they could take it to, so.
No, and the biggest, and of course, some of that sometimes we have to protect it, Billy, right? Because then we got to monitor that. 'Cause
Yeah.
What'll happen is everybody finds out where that's at.
I know.
Then you can't keep people out of there, or they start bringing stuff that we can't.
Chairs and everything, yeah.
Tires or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any questions for Chief? Thanks, Chief.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Any other department heads? No comments from audience, Facebook comments? Do we have any comments today? No? All right. All right, I need a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers. No discussion? Call the roll.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Our next fiscal court meeting will be July the 11th, 2023 in Berea. That'll be at 9:30 a.m. Again, next fiscal court meeting will be July 11th, 2023. It'll be at Berea City Hall Council Chambers at 9:30 a.m. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.